got to be honest.
Yeah, he's certainly the favorite, but up first, our semifinal matchup between Poland and Finland. Let's send it up to the ring and Rytis Kuzmenka for the official introductions.
Round one.
First semifinal matchup in the KOK Featherweight World Grand Prix is underway. Dariusz Skozeck of Poland in the blue gloves and Lauri Suomela of Finland in the red. Right away you can see the size differential between these two. Suomela much taller, longer, lankier, but Skozeck is like a little stick of dynamite.
What I'm liking already from Suomela was he almost took the balance with that rear leg kick, and then he's working the body of Skozeck with that right hook. Dangerous already.
Well, Skozeck has been in the ring before with the current KOK featherweight champion, Stanislav Ranita, a couple of years ago in Moldova. It was a losing effort on his part, but it was a close fight. It was a good battle, and so if he can go toe-to-toe with the champ, he certainly deserves to be in this four-man tournament.
That's right, Dan. As you said, possibly coming back from injury, but you would come back for this. You would take that risk in such a prestigious tournament. But for the moment, I feel Suomela doing the right thing, peppering that leg, then throwing the right hook to the body afterwards.
You know, when you ask the fighters, they always tell you that it doesn't really matter where the contests take place. At least the visiting fighters will tell you that, as Skozeck lands a nice left. But you can just feel the atmosphere. You can feel the intensity in the arena here. These fans have been dying for something like this. And I'm sure Suomela has as well.
Oh
my, a crushing spinning back kick right in the midsection there by Suomela.
Skozeck did well to disguise the pain there. He swallowed deeply and then almost had a knee and now a right hand. Suomela is getting that range dangerously close to finishing here. But Skozeck, did you see the way he breathed in and then, like the professional he is, came forward to say, no, that didn't hurt.
And another one that time, not as vicious as the first one, but still right in that same area, just below the liver, I believe.
Well, the thing is, in a tournament situation, you really want to get your man out of there first and take as little damage yourself. If you can get a first-round stoppage, if you can get him out of there, you're fresh, you're back in the changing rooms, you've got damage limitation. The last thing you want is a 3-round war with a very good opponent.
Yeah, and keep in mind there's not a whole lot of time to rest in this particular situation because there's only going to be a few more fights. After these guys are going to have the second semifinal, and then there's only 2 fights between that and the final.
That's the other exciting thing about this tournament, the lack of time to recover, as it were. That's why it's so important. If you get the opportunity, finish your man.
Whoa, he caught it with a right again. Suomela really finding a home for a number of different striking opportunities and taking full advantage. End of round 1. Remainder of this contest. I know that Skozeck has Dima Kartel in his corner, a great coach who's been coming to KOK here for years and years, bringing a lot of the top Polish talent over. I'm sure he had a thing or two to say, and Skozeck really putting on some pressure here. Well, the referee never called for a break, and so it is protect yourself at all times.
I agree, Daniel. I mean, he got a warning, but it was right. There wasn't an official break there. But for me, Skozeck, the change in tactics is, we've mentioned this before about when you're facing a taller opponent, when he gets inside, he's really got to let his hands go because he knows where his opponent's head is. Once he's got inside there, he's got to throw the leather.
And believe me, if this is what he wants to do, if this is where he wants to go, Suomela has no problem mixing it up. I can tell you that. Last time he was here, KOK fans will remember, in Lithuania in March, he got into a slugfest with Jan Naus. People were coming out of their seats for that one.
Well, for me, Suomela is still very accurate and sharp, but Skozeck is looking to come in quicker and work with those boxing combinations. But as you said, the thing he's got to be wary of is you're most vulnerable when you're attacking. Suomela is sharp on the counter, hands and feet.
Well, he snuck a body kick in there from the left side. Skozeck looks more comfortable there in there now, though, in number 2, in round number 2. I don't think that we saw that confidence in round 1. He seems to be feeling much more confident here in round 2.
It's also a timing thing. He's timing it better to get inside Suomela so he can negate a lot of the work that was done in the opening round. For me, in the opening round, he was at just the right range for Suomela. It suited him.
That one may have landed a little bit low on the glove, that back fist, but nevertheless, life goes on here, and Skozeck wraps him up on the inside.
And Suomela span with that kick again, but this time just out of range.
They are really trading the heavy leather here. Skozeck's mouthpiece dropped out. Maybe a sign of fatigue.
It could be
just been an accident.
But for me, like you said, I want to pick up on the point you made. I think he's done far better here in the second round.
He has.
He's traded more, he's got inside more. He's made it harder for Suomela to land so cleanly. And we saw a little left hook right above our commentary position that he landed himself.
Just about a minute left here in round number 2. Another good exchange by both men.
And Skozeck is beginning to let that left hook go, and it's dangerous.
Suomela with a right hand. Well, both guys know what's on the line here. Featherweight World Grand Prix. These things don't happen every night. And if you can win this, the way to get a title shot in KOK is to either win one of these tournaments or be one of the top 5 ranked fighters in the promotion. And believe me, these guys' standings in the featherweight division will skyrocket whoever wins this one.
Well, that's a lovely double jab, right hand kick to the thigh of Skozeck from Suomela. But Skozeck is dogged now. He's staying in there and he's responding immediately. This second round is bubbling so nicely because Skozeck is now standing his ground and firing back.
And there's some blood too. There's some blood from the right eyebrow, the right end. Looks like the right corner of the eyebrow of Suomela. It was bleeding and trickling down. There it is. You can see it on his face there. If it was really the injury of Skozeck that was really at hand in that first round, maybe it was just the ring rust. The fact that he hasn't really been in the ring, so maybe he's ready for a fight now. After that first round kind of woke him up, and he knows what it's like once again to be inside the KOK ropes.
That's a very good point because round 2 was a marked difference. And as you said, it wasn't just a marked difference in his performance, it's in the way he carried himself. And he's happy to stand and trade here now.
And
look
he's landing. Skozeck is landing here in round 3. Short hooks on the inside are landing to the head of Suomela.
It's that demeanor we talked about. You're right, he's more confident, he's ready for it, he's coming in. He's willing to take those shots to the legs, knowing it's the end of it's the third round, to get those hooks going. The only problem for him is there's another fight after this if he does win. You still don't want to be taking those big leg shots.
Well, you got to do what you got to do to make it to that second round. A lot of fighters will tell you there is no strategy. Once the bell rings, you just win. That's the strategy.
And you're right, he has to get inside. He has to take them if he wants to get those punches going. But look at him, he's smiling now. You're right, he's happy in there. That ring rust, I think, has gone out of him, and he's confident, he's pushing forward. He knows what he's got to do.
I want to see that killer instinct of Suomela start to come out. I want to see that killer instinct come out here, what we saw last time.
Well, what I do like is, on the way in, he really is peppering the legs of Skozeck. And Skozeck's taking them, but look, he really does go for those thighs regularly. He steps back, then throws the kicks.
And Suomela starting to work at a distance now. Whoa! The knee connected right between the eyes and the forehead. Right hand as well from Suomela.
And again, you've got to admire Skozeck. He looks like nothing's happening, like it hasn't really landed. So they're just thinking, how clean was that? He's a warrior in that respect, but you're right. Suomela getting through cleanly again here in the third, a key point in the round as well.
Both guys landing some big power shots here to the head as we approach 1 minute left in our first semifinal matchup.
Suomela also, that right round kick to the lead thigh of Skozeck, looking to slow him down, looking to make the shorter man really work to get in. And they're leaning on him as well. Everything to fatigue his opponent. Oh, on the arm this time, Daniel.
There it is again. Suomela uncorking that spinning back kick and pushes him back with the left hand. A referee again did not call for the break, allowing a lot of latitude, letting the fighters settle it themselves. A lot of fighters, that'll confuse them because they expect the break to come, and then when it doesn't come and they get hit, well, then they get hot about it.
Skozeck shaking his head, just a bit of frustration coming in there, Daniel, as well, because he's doing his hardest to get inside here, but Suomela so accurate, and there's that knee again.
Wow! What a knee that time, and Suomela goes right upstairs again. And Skozeck now. That was not even that hard of a throw, and he went down almost 75% out of fatigue, I think. But Skozeck still coming back here, right towards the closing set. And Dariusz Kuzmenka as well, as the blood trickles down the face of Lauri Suomela.
Ladies and gentlemen, KOK World Grand Prix semi-final fight. After 3 rounds by unanimous judge decision, the winner is, and to KOK World Grand Prix final goes... Red corner, Lauri Suomela, Finland.
Lauri